Hi. Sorry. Sorry. Um, I thought I had my video uploaded to play my intro, but I guess not. I guess not. I guess it's just me now. Hi there, everyone. Who's here? Let's see. Shut up, Aaron. Shut up. Okay. Hi, Mr. Black Wolf. It looks like you're all that's in the chat right now. I know. Once again, I didn't tell anyone I was streaming. Actually, I didn't even plan on streaming, but I got out of work early tonight, and I had a good day at work. So I found out that the bar down the street had karaoke, so I went down there, and I'm a little drunk. Ow, that hurt. A little drunk, not much. So then I thought, hey, there's this video I've been trying to record to get out there, and I just between work and people in my house and people from outside my house who come into my house, I just haven't had a chance to record it. So I thought, well, why don't I just go live and just read the shit then? Hi, patterns of problematic people. Hi, beautiful. Oh, hi. Hi, Sunny D. Where have you been, Miss Ju? I've been working. It's been summer, and we've had a lot of parties at work, and I've just been super busy. And yeah, and I've been trying to establish a bit more of a life, like in real life, with socializing and everything, because I haven't really done that much in a long while, especially since COVID. And in case in point tonight, karaoke, which I had not sang karaoke in a long time. I still suck, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So, and also I made a kind of a New York State bucket list. I didn't realize it. I mean, I knew New York State had mountains and shit, but I never realized that we had so many cool, like natural places to go. Like not just mountains, but like amazing, like Watkins Glen. Okay, like I didn't even know Watkins Glen was a thing until like a few years ago. Like how do you live in central New York and don't know about this awesome gorge with waterfalls and shit? Like that's only like 2 hours away, if that. Not even. So I have a list of 69 places, and I didn't plan that number. That's just how it turned out. And I've been trying to make a point to go to each of them as often as I can. So I don't know why. I just thought, why do I live in New York State and I have access to all of these like amazing places, and I have a means in which to get there? And why aren't I doing this? What the fuck? Before I know it, I'm going to be too old and I'm not going to be able to climb up a mountain or something. So that's what I've been doing. Hi, Kitty. Why are you bothering me now, huh? What's up? Hi, Kitty Cat. Okay. Hi, Kitty. What do you want? Huh? Don't look at me like that. Okay. So, she's been awfully cuddly lately. I don't know why. Okay. All right. Good. Go away. So, how have you all been? I hope well. I hope everyone's been doing well. I've missed you all. Exactly. Yep. And I want to save and plan a trip, because there's one thing in this entire world that I want to see more than anything. And I don't even know why. Like, I do know why, but I mean, like, when you think of all the amazing places in the world one could want to go to, like, this might not be top of the list, but for me it is. I don't know. I want to go to Northern California and see the sequoias. I really want to do that. But I don't want to just like fly out there and see them. I want to take an Amtrak across the country to go see them. Oh, shoot. Did I do that? Wait a minute. Am I paused? I hit something on my keyboard just now, I think. And now I'm buffering. No, I'm still going. Okay. So it looks like just the YouTube was buffering. Okay. But yeah, I want to take an Amtrak across the country to see the sequoias and the redwoods. And then, I don't know, then I guess take another Amtrak home. But for now, I'm starting small and just focusing on a few places, 69 places in New York State. We got 10-foot sunflowers in our yard. The yellow birds are enjoying them. Aw. There's a sunflower farm near me, like around Rome, New York, I think. And we went a couple of years ago, and it's just gorgeous. Like, as far as the eye can see, you see sunflowers. That's cool. What kind of yellow birds? Like, I don't know. What kind of yellow birds? Like, I know, like, there's canaries, but are canaries wild where you are? I don't know. But so, and I also know that I'm a little late coming into things. Like, I know the whole Zack Peter thing with Katie Joy and autism was like last week. And I literally, that's how long I've been trying to record a video. So yellow finches. Oh, okay. So I know I'm a little late, but I don't, whatever. We're going to go over it anyways. So I, I remember I had a few screenshots saved from the last time I shared this. So, and I found a few others. And did I put the video back? Yeah, I did. I put that up there. Okay. So let's start right there. Let me share a screen. So for those of you who don't know, there's a YouTube channel. I forgot the name of it. I know his name's Zack Peter, but I can't remember like the YouTube handle. Give me a second. There it is. So at Just Plain Zack. And I don't know much about him, but I do know that I did watch a video of his where he's talking about his brother who has autism. And though he does seem to be a bit of a supporter of RFK Jr., I mean, nobody's perfect. But he and Katie evidently got into it. And Katie, I guess, was like giving some people in his chat a hard time who were parents of kids with autism. And, you know, I mean, Katie knows it all, you know, like no one can do it as well as Katie. Katie has the right way to do it. And she's going to tell you exactly how that is. And that's basically what this is. And I find that to be quite ironic and hypocritical given her actual history with autism and people with autism and even her own kid and the shit that she said, shared, and stated. And I just wanted to remind people of that. Because, I mean, if she changed her mind or she changed her position, she learned or grew from her previous viewpoint, then great. That's fantastic. But that's not what this is. At least I am of the belief that's not what this is. Because she will never admit that. She'll just act like her previous viewpoint never existed. That anyone remembering that is misremembering that. And therefore working for Robert Chin or some shit. I don't know. But that's just what I wanted to share. So here's a few screenshots. These are from, well, let me open up the first one. So it looks like 2019, but I think that they jump around between 2019 and 2020. And she was talking, and this thread here, she was talking to someone who had autism and was kind of giving her shit for some of the insensitive things she said. And here Katie says, I'm not neurotypical though. I have a diagnosis that isn't neurotypical. My son is autistic. Have you missed that part? I know the struggles and the great rewards. Then she says, this is from 2018. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I had that old one. So, that's right. This first comment here, I'm the one who redacted that word because the word she put in there is it's kind of personal, and I don't really want to help spread this and violate his privacy that way. So I redacted it. And then she says, I get it. Some of the men in that group are autistic. She was talking about a group where she's seen a bunch of people commenting, and she pretty much likened them to incels or like neckbeards kind of thing, you know? She says, some of the men in that group are autistic and use that as an excuse for being single, lonely, and depressed. My son is autistic mildly. So I understand where you're at. Honestly, having an autistic son is concerning, and it hits home. Mildly. Just one. Here she says from 2019. Right. I would just wonder what kind of wait a minute. This is from 2018. So October 2018, she's talking about she's finding similarities or whatever between autism and the people in these types of groups or whatever. That was 2018. And then we have, this is from January 2019, so a few months later, she's still talking about this. She says, right, I would just wonder what kind of personality disorders or mental illness plays a role. My son is autistic, so by no means do I lump them all in a box, but and say this is why. I just wonder how they come up with these bizarre social constructs. And here we have from right on the same time, she says, Don't you think many of these incels are either mentally ill or autistic? I've noticed tons of autistic men in these forums. And then she says, "Oh, I'm not. Trust me, I am not. My son is autistic. It was something I noticed in the forums." Then she says, this is back to December 2019. "My son is autistic. I'm actually ADHD and have many traits of autism. Same with my husband. Listening to sound bites taken out of context is what they do to paint me as a monster." Seems like these painters or whatever have been existing for a while, but in actuality, they play your own words. They play your own video clips. They use your own words. So if anyone's a fucking painter here, I would have to say it's her. She's Van Gogh. She's Van Gogh here. Then she says, this is from right around that same time frame. She was talking to the person she was talking to previously who has autism. She says, "I'm sorry if you felt offended. I would never, ever take your experience from you. We live with autism every single day and embrace my child for his strengths and unique quirks." Then this person says, "I think a lot of people are offended right now. Having traits and being autistic are three totally different things. Trust me. I wish I only had traits and wasn't autistic sometimes, but then I realized how smart I am and wouldn't change it for the world." To which Katie says, "My son is autistic. I get it. I'm sorry for offending you. I am. We love Autism Daily. He's the greatest kid in the world." Then she says, "I do. My son struggles with emotional regulation and social interactions. I definitely understand the straightforward, no filter. That's our life." And this next, the middle one I already read. But then we have at the bottom, "My son's autism gives him amazing gifts. So amazing. I'm sorry if my comments were insensitive. Definitely not my intention." And then we have, "Did you hear what I said? My child is autistic. I am ADHD with sensory issues. Same with my husband. I'm sorry for offending you, but it was taken out of context." In other words, "I'm so sorry you're offended, but, well, it's your own damn fault." So, and then I'm going to jump on over here to chat real quick. Hi. Okay. Okay, cool. Then moving on, there's this one. I'm not sure who she was talking to. This is from March 9, 2020, but she says, "I don't know. My son is autistic and her behavior reminds me of him, but I'm not a professional and don't diagnose people." Here we have December 2019. This one I wanted to read because here she is literally weaponizing her son's autism to try to guilt someone or pressure someone into changing their behavior and to acknowledge her. She says, "Yep, she needs to admit she lied and manipulated the community. She needs to admit she used me for clout and to steal my subscribers," because you can only subscribe to one channel, right? "She needs to apologize for diminishing my son's health and autism to berate me." Okay. Then we have this one I wanted to share because it was brought up by Zack and a few other people too who commented about how Katie had first written about her son's autism, then written about how it was a misdiagnosis, and then all of a sudden he had it again. Which, don't get me wrong here, I don't care if he has it. I don't even care to discuss it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't want to know, honestly. I'm just pointing out that rather than her explain this way or take the opportunity to even just describe a story and how this could happen in case it happened for other parents, she instead just gets pissed off at people and calls them, a troll or whatever. But she didn't call this person a troll, but everyone else she has pretty much. Here someone says, "I meant your son was misdiagnosed," to which Katie says, "At one point," can I make this bigger? There we go. "At one point, doctors weren't sure if the diagnosis was accurate due to other medical issues. However, a full evaluation ordered by them confirmed the diagnosis last year." The other person says, last I read was this, and you never updated it. And she shares a screenshot where Katie explains, my son had been misdiagnosed with autism. His medical symptoms were classified as developmental delays. The only reason we ended up with this diagnosis of hydrocephalus was that I refused to give in and watch him die. Little like, really? That seems kind of dire and drastic. Okay. I refuse to believe that his regression and lack of development was rooted in an unknown cause. I advocated for him fiercely, got into arguments with doctors, and at the end was told it was my fight that made them listen. I saved my kid. My child was never on the spectrum. My child was suffering from a debilitating disease that would require a lifetime of surgery and maintenance. But we finally got into the root. And then Katie came back with, nope. Because remember the last thing the person said, and you never updated it. Katie says, nope, because I stopped writing about him. Okay. Lastly, I'm going to play a little bit of a video clip where this was from an interview she had with April Johns, and I cannot remember April's associate's name, so I apologize. But here she, yeah. I mean, I just, autistic or not, or whatever, I can't imagine just knowing that my mom said this about me someday or at one point, whatever. Anyway. Oh, wait, I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to have to do this because otherwise the sound won't play. Okay. And I thought I had it right to the minute point, but I guess not. Remember where it is. There we go. Almost. Perfect.
Can be intelligent and autistic. Yeah, no, autistic, absolutely.
Oh,
no, not the
for
same.
a little bit of backstory, though. Katie is talking with, like I said, Fancy Miss Sally, and I cannot remember her associate's name. I apologize. But they're talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And in this clip here in particular, they're talking about Nicholas Godejohn and whether or not he was, I don't know, he was capable, I guess, really.
No,
but he's not developmentally slow in any means. No.
But autism is considered a developmental disability. It's considered a neurological disability. No, it affects all aspects of development. My son is autistic, so okay. Do you believe that your son could be manipulated into murdering somebody? Yes, you do.
She doesn't skip a beat. Yes, like, wow.
Yes. Why? And how? And where is your son at on the spectrum? He's high functioning.
Okay, so I want to take that out point here to take a second to point that out. So earlier we read how she said there he was mildly autistic, and now he's high functioning. This is all coming from the same person who says that, or once for a year said her son was nonverbal and said that he will never be able to live on his own, and that's why they bought such a big house so he can live in the basement. So yeah.
High functioning. Why do you think that could happen?
Because they're vulnerable. Because that you're actually the first one that we've talked to that has said that.
I think anyone that has autism can be manipulated because they're vulnerable. Have you seen?
I also want to take a moment here and point this out because Katie has now just went ahead and made the leap and said that she too is autistic, and she's been sharing how she self-diagnosed herself by taking an online test or whatever. So by her logic then, does that mean that she herself could be manipulated into offing someone because she's vulnerable, like naive or whatever, you know? I mean, because she would consider herself high functioning, right? Like much like her son, like she just said here. So if her son is not capable of saying no to such a horrendous crime, then are we to believe that she is?
His actual text messages and his words. Nick's.
Okay, now they're going to talk about Nick. I don't care. So yeah. There's that. Hi, Taboo Topics. What's up? Hi, Mary. Yep, she didn't even take a minute to think about it. She was like, yes, yes, yeah. Hi, DC, a member for 29 months. Thank you very much for your support. Welcome. I believe KJ would absolutely off someone if she thought she could get away with it. Well, I mean, I don't. She does seem to be able to live with herself with a lot of things she does. And I'm not saying that's wrong of her. I'm just saying I don't see how that's so easy to do. That's all I'm saying. So yeah. Yep. That's about all I have. I don't know why I couldn't record this and get this out. Oh, it's Meg's birthday. Get the fuck out of here. I haven't been online at all. I'm sorry. Happy birthday, Meg. Taboo topics. Happy birthday, taboo topics. Awesome. What are you, like 25 now? I mean, seriously, that's what you look like, bitch. She wouldn't frame someone else to do it, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, I don't, it's possible. I mean, I'm not an expert really. And also too, I want to point out, oh shoot, I keep hitting my fucking keyboard. I don't think I'm someone really qualified to speak much on things like autism or what's like ableist or ableism or whatever. I don't know anyone personally with autism, and I don't really even know anyone personally. Like, no, I don't have anyone that I can think of in my family that has any kind of disabilities or delayments or anything. I don't know. I don't have much experience in that regard, so I don't want to sit here and point out all of these things that she's doing wrong. And so I'm of some place of knowledge in that regard, because I'm not. I'm really not. I am a mother, though. And, well, I'm a human, and I can only imagine how I would feel if I heard my own mother talking like that about me. Like, and not even like now or whatever. I obviously, like, if I just grew up one day and saw a video of my mom from like way back in the day and she was saying something like that, I can't imagine how I would feel. And that's my whole point. And much like everything else that Katie will obsess about or try to throw up as a shield, an excuse, a justification, a reason, what have you, she's exploiting this because she doesn't want to have to face accountability for things. So with this whole thing with like Blake Lively, for example, and again, I'm going to just point this out. I don't give a shit about Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni. I think they're both entitled little shits, and I just really don't care. But I do notice, though, is that it looks as though Katie is being put in a position to have to answer for herself because of her posts and her claims and her defamation of things and everything online. And rather than answer for herself or face or even attempt to face any accountability, she's instead throwing out a list of things on why Blake should not come for her. Why Blake coming for her and holding her accountable is actually like, I don't know, some sort of targeted attack, because Katie, is just an independent journalist with a husband fighting cancer and an autistic son that has health problems. Well, she was all of these things when she went online and decided to really just push all of these fucked up narratives about so many people that she did not know, without having taken any kinds of steps toward verifying anything. She has no idea. She has no clue. Now, I think a lot of people are of the belief that she does this because it makes her money on YouTube. And sure, I'm sure that it does. But I'm of the belief, and this is just an opinion, I have nothing to base this on. I've no inside knowledge, nothing else to base this on other than just what I have learned and experienced over the years here on YouTube. And I am of the belief that she does make money doing this. However, I think she makes money by doing it for various PR companies. She may very well be like an independent contractor in that regard, and whatever side she's ready to, put the bill, really, she'll sell it. I am of that belief, and I have been of that suspicion and that belief since way back, since 2020. Yeah, the whole Sophie Long thing happened. that's when I had my my first really kind of hint or inclination about that being a possibility. And here we are years later, and only more and more things that came up under that as far as supporting that theory anyways. I did one video about this back in, I think, 2021 or 2022, where I share a lot of the things up to that point that led me to that position. There's been a lot more since, and I probably should do a part 2 on that now, but I don't know. Whenever I have time, I guess. You know, DC, that's what I thought the same thing. But like I said, I don't know much about autism. So, but DC says, I have a child with level 3 autism and many of the same diagnoses as Katie's child. Katie is incredibly blessed as her son is much more able and healthy than many kids with similar same diagnosis, including my own. And I don't know much about autism, for granted, or much about like any of these other diagnoses that you mentioned, but anytime her son just appeared on camera accidentally, I'll give her that credit. She really hasn't pushed him online much. But anytime he has appeared, he's just come across as capable, like very capable. Like, I don't know, like just your average kind of capable, And I just always wondered, like, what is it that she sees in him that makes her think that she's going to have to care for him and get it like a conservatorship and shit over him for like the rest of his life? Because I'm not seeing it. Now, I'm not with him every day, all day long. For granted, she is, okay? I can see to that, but he still seems pretty capable, I don't. And it just seems like a fucked up thing to really push about your kid if they're completely capable of doing normal everyday things like everyone else, and you want to keep painting a picture that as though they're not. Like, why would you do that? I mean, and maybe she just shouldn't talk about her kid at all on her channel, which I'm a firm believer of that, but she never shuts the fuck up about him. So she kind of just, I can't help but to wonder why. Why is it that you're choosing to talk about your kid all the time on your channel and just throw them up in people's faces whenever it seems like you need a shield or excuse or justification for something? Why is it you want to keep doing that, but then you want to just keep painting this same false, sad narrative? I mean, how do you not know or think or believe that might affect your kid someday? It's, it's just kind of sad. I don't know. I can share the part 1. Like I said, part 1 was a few years ago, but there's been a lot of things and other situations or whatever that have arisen since that have kind of added to my belief that she's some sort of I'm going to say disinformation agent here, but really, I think that if the payday was right, she'd work for the other side too. But I don't know. But between Sophie Long, this whole 7M thing, Dre McCrae, all of that shit. I mean, oh my God. Like, I mean, she literally was like coming for Dre in the beginning and then just flipped sides. And we all know why she did that. But, it's just the fact that she's able to do that, like really just make an argument for either side would really make her pretty damn good at that job, I guess. I'm sorry, DC. And Katie never builds her son up. She only tears him down. Yeah. And even when she does kind of give her son props for something, it just seems like the props are like a passive aggressive kind of, I don't know, tear down in a sense. Like, I don't know. Again, like even some of her props, it would totally break my heart to hear my mom say that about me, Let me grab a link to that. Anyway. All right. I think I have it in a playlist actually, so it'll be easy to find. That and I am gonna publish a video. I've been slowly trying to record it, but it's a pain in the ass to record and edit because I'm kind of doing the reading for 3 different parts of this transcript. And one thing though that kind of leads me to wonder or question a lot of the position she takes, I guess I could say, is that it seems like it's just this pattern with her, like, because in the video I'm going to link here, a lot of the things I talk about are things that went down throughout the Toddy Westbrook lawsuit with Katie, and the whole Natalie shit and everything. But it's so weird because, like, she's still making these same exact accusations and claims, only the people she's blaming have changed. And this is, we're talking as frequently as last year. Like, I don't want to give too much away, but hopefully I get time and just get it put out there soon. So, oh, girl's right there. When did I stream this? This was, oh, wow, it was almost 3 years ago, October 18, 2022. I have all the links though. And I have it, the stream, it's almost 4 hours long, but I have it broken down into chapters. And then under that, I have all the links to everything I show and share and whatever, and cite from and shit. So, all right. I'm going to put it here in the chat, but I'll also put it in the description later. Okay, there it is. She acts like he's a toddler and he's like 11 or 12. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's always been like that though, too. I mean, and the thing is I think myself and a lot of other people like nobody even really cares to know much about her kid. So I don't even know why she keeps pushing this shit on everyone. And then she's, like I said, again, she's exploiting this. She's exploiting autism to try to, I don't even know. Like, I mean, is she doing this to try to discredit Zack in some way? Is she doing this to, like, she's not even covering a story really or anything where this is relevant. So why even go out there and create this controversy if you're not even going to get anything out of it? If it's not even going to be like a propaganda thing for you or whatever. I don't understand it, but the only reason I can think of is so she has some sort of excuse or justification or whatever to explain away all these other fucked up things she's doing. And and the whole 7M lawsuit, like, that's gotta be breathing down her neck too. So, but especially since I noticed she went on News Nation or whatever it's called, and she made a lot of claims that are provably false. Again, with this transcript is gonna show once I do finally get it up. So. Yeah, I'm sorry, DC. And then it's got to be frustrating too for someone in your position to see Katie with this platform and to then speak on autism as though she knows, as though she's in the know of, as though she is an excellent source for people to ask questions and to get an idea what living with autism is really like. When in actuality, I mean, I have no doubt that he very well could be autistic and they could very well have their challenges. I don't doubt that. But it does seem to me that the challenges that they may face would be on the lesser end or more manageable end than the challenges that others may face. And, it would be nice to see that be acknowledged probably or realized. But like I said, I don't know. Oh, you're welcome, Mary. Yeah, I've had this belief or this, I don't know, this idea for a while. And then the whole thing with Gypsy Rose, just how, like, Katie's the one who shared that Gypsy Rose signed with that, I don't know, whatever Canyon, Red Canyon or whatever PR company. Now, why? And she says that Christy told her that, which very well may be the case, but I can't help but to wonder, why were they even talking about that? Like, why was Christy confiding in Katie of all people about that? Unless Christy felt that there was some there was some relevance in mentioning this to Katie and talking with Katie about this. And I can't help but to wonder what that might be, you know? So. I mean, I don't know, Mary. Mary says, I remember someone saying Katie doctor shopped until she got the autism diagnosis so she could get more benefits. I mean, I don't know how much more benefits really she got. I don't know the timeline of things as far as that goes. I mean, if we're talking like health benefits or child care benefits, whatever, personally, I don't care about that. Like, even if she did lie, I don't care, because the only person making out there is her kid. And I'm never, ever going to be in a position to feel or to think that any kid isn't deserving or shouldn't get any kind of shit like that. Even if it does help out Katie, I don't care, because ultimately it helps out her kid. But I'm not so sure. Like, it seems like after she got the diagnosis, she was posting a lot. I had to find those screenshots. I think they're in my Drive folder. But she was posting a lot about this church she was a member of. And I almost wonder if it was more like a clout thing, or possibly even like a I don't know, like a charity thing. It put her in line to receive certain help or whatever from her peers, from the people in the church or whatever. Because she ended up leaving the church like sometime later, and she accused the church of like pressuring them to donate. But then when it came time for her to need help, well, no one could be bothered. But in her post, though, throughout this time when she was relying on this church, they did seem to like really come through for her an awful lot, according to her own words that she put up on Facebook anyway. So I don't know. Hi, Elizabeth. So, but I am going to wrap this up though and get going, because it is almost 2 a.m. here. I have to be to work in I have to get up in like 5 hours. I have to be to work there in like 7 hours. But like I said, I've been trying to record this and get this out, and I'm pretty happy with how I got it out here and everything. So I'm going to leave this as it is. And I'm going to get going. And I'm going to really, really try and work hard at getting this other video out, because I really think it's going to be interesting. So, yeah. But sorry I haven't been around much. And when summer ends, I will definitely be around more. So, but thanks for being here. And thank you, everyone, for sticking around and checking me out when I come on. So, all right, guys. Bye. Have a good night.